Welcome to EPG Pathshala in the subject of information technology and in the paper of open source software. Today we will discuss few basic file operations. We will see certain commands that are related to files, few other commands which are basic Linux commands, and we will see how redirection can be done, IO redirection can be done using those commands. The redirection can be done into files or in terminal output. So, in this module we will try to get an overview of basic files and directory handling, how to create directories, how to create files, how to deal with them, and we will see how we can redirect the output of certain commands into files and how we can display those. So, let us begin with our learning objectives. The learning objectives are we will get an overview of files, file system, then we will learn few basic file operations, directory operations, and finally, we will see certain commands. With the help of those commands, we will learn redirection operations, that is IO redirection. So, a file system can be briefly said it is a collection of data structures and methods. Files are data chunks that contain records, it may be some configuration details, it may have some data, human data, users data, or it may be executable file that a system can execute. So, there can be many type of files, and in short file system is a data structure that deals with how these files are stored. When we say files are stored, means the files are on hard disk, how the operating system will take care of the area of hard disk that is assigned to the files, operating system will take care of the free space, all these things are taken care by the file system. So, let us see different types of files. Now, in Linux the root directory is said to be the in Linux the file system begins with a root directory. So, it is a inverted tree structure. You can see that the directory tree contains different subdirectories like bin, boot, etc, where, etc, and within those subdirectories there can be files. Some directories may be empty or it may contain lot of files, or directories can contain subdirectories within which there are files. In contrast to Windows operating system where we get C drive, D drive, in Linux we get root directory. What you can see, it is at the top of the screen, that is the root directory, within which there are other directories and files. So, when we compare with Windows operating system, Linux does not have C drive, D drive, it simply begins with root and there can be multiple files. We have already discussed these things in detail in few other modules. Now, the Linux directory names and file names are case sensitive. So, usually the directory, if it is /bin, the bin directory is in lower case, and if it is /bin, if it is in upper case, they are different directories. Let us move ahead. Let us see what kind of files are available. In Linux, there can be different type of files. There are directory files, there are character files, binary files, there can be pipes, sockets. So, as you can see on the screen, regular files, they do not have any special symbol, they are denoted by a simple dash. Directory files, directories are also treated as files and they are specified by D. Block special files, they are specified by B. Character files, they have C. Pipes are also certain type of files. We will see how we can use pipes, anonymous pipes in this module. In the extra reading notes, you will see how to create named pipes. So, the pipe files, they have small p, that is in lower case. Symbolic links, they behave like shortcuts. So, L is assigned for symbolic links. Socket files, those that are used for networking, they have character S. So, as you see, there are different type of files available. Usually we deal with character files. As a normal user, we do not deal with special type of files like pipes or sockets. So, generally we either operate with directory or we deal with character files. In this module, we will be focusing on regular files and the directories. So, you will find D notation and you will find a dash notation when we list the file types. Let us move ahead and we will see how files can be modified, how directories can be modified. So, as you can see, the first command that we study is pwd. It will display the present working directory. We will see all these commands in a video. The cd command is for change directory. Cd can be used to navigate across different directories. From any directory, we can move on to home directory using cd tilde sign or simple cd command. Cd dot dot will move us from the current directory to the parent directory, or it will move us to one level higher of the current directory. To create directories, the command is mkdir. To delete a directory, the command is rmdir, that is remove directory, and we have to specify the directory name along with the command. If we want to delete several directories, subdirectories and files within those, we can type the command rm with the options R and F, that is delete all directories, subdirectories recursively and forcefully. So, if we issue this command, we can delete the entire directory tree from our current directory onwards, and it will not ask whether you want to delete or not. When it is forcefully, means each and every file in the directory will be deleted. So, these are few basic operations that can be performed with the directories, and rm command is applicable to files as well as with directories. Friends, as you know, when we log in, if it is a terminal, the server is somewhere here, when we log in, we are by default placed into home directory. So, any user, whenever he starts the command line operation, most of the cases he is placed into the home directory. The path of home directory is /home. So, when he issues pwd command, he will see the home directory and his own directory. So, suppose if I am using the demo username, the username is demo. So, I am logging as demo, I am giving some password. So, when I log in, I will be placed into the home directory, and within which there is a demo directory which corresponds to a particular user. So, my default working directory will be /home/demo. Again, the directory names are case sensitive. So, if it is a demo in uppercase or lowercase, they are treated as different directories. Similarly, if some user, let us say Akash, logs in, then by default he will log in into the directory /home/Akash, and it applies to all users except the root. Root has its own directory /root. Root is a super user. We will see what is the capabilities of root in some other modules. So, when we log in and if we type pwd, it will show our default home directory. Then we can create directories, subdirectories using mkdir command. We can delete directories using rmdir or rm command. So, let us see a small video in which I am creating few directories, I am navigating into it, and I am doing some operations. So, in this video you can see the pwd command displays present working directory, that is home demo, within which I am creating another directory testdir. So, ls command will list all the files and directories. You can see testdir is created. Apart from testdir, there are few other directories. Few of them are provided by Linux operating system. This testdir is the directory we created using mkdir command. Now, cd command. So, we will move into test directory. Now, you can see earlier it was home demo, now it is home demo test dir. Our current directory is test dir. Within test dir, there are no files. When we say ls means there are no files within this directory. I am creating another directory, let us call sub dir. Sub dir is created within test dir. I am changing into sub dir. pwd command will issue the entire path. It is home demo, within which there is test dir and there is another sub dir, that is sub directory. So, as of now I am in the sub directory, sub dir directory, and the parent directory of sub directory is test dir. By issuing cd dot dot, I am moving one directory forward, that is I will move into the parent directory. You can see from sub directory I moved on to test dir. Again by issuing the command cd dot dot, I am moving on to my home directory, that is demo. So, this is how we navigated. We created a directory test dir. Within test dir, we created sub dir. So, there are two directories. Then by issuing cd dot dot command, I moved one directory forward. So, earlier I was in sub dir sub directory, then I moved into the test directory by cd dot dot. Again by issuing the cd dot dot command, I went to the demo directory. This is my home directory. And from this home directory, if I want to go directly to sub directory, the command can be cd test dir / sub dir. So, I am directly moving on to the sub directory. You can see by issuing the pwd command, my current working directory will be sub dir. So, this is the entire path. This forward slash indicates home, sorry, this forward slash indicates root, then there is home directory within which there is demo, within which there is test dir and then sub dir. So, there are two ways to denote a path that starts from slash, that is the root, we call this absolute path. This is absolute path. So, absolute path usually start with slash forward slash, and relative path means this example is a relative path. Here it does not start with a slash. I am calling this cd command such that from my current directory I want to move into sub dir. So, it is relative path. So, to again brief you, the path that starts with a slash, that is from root, then it is an absolute path, and if the path does not start with slash, then usually it is a relative path. The entire path can be for a directory, or we can also give path for a file. So, we have seen certain directory operations, how to change into directory, how to create directory and so on. Now, let us see few more operations that are related to files. The first and foremost thing that comes into our mind, we want to list the files. So, in whatever directory we are placed, by issuing ls command, it will list the files. Ls command simply gives the list of files, it will not give in much detail. If we want a detailed list, then the command is ls-l. It will give a detailed list along with some permissions with the username, group name, date and some size of file. So, ls-l command will give more details of a file. If we want to find or see the hidden files, the command is ls-a. A indicates all files. So, if there are hidden files in Linux, they are all displayed with ls space dash a command. In Linux, the hidden files begin with a dot sign. So, there is no separate command to hide any file. When a file starts with a dot, then it is treated as hidden file. Let us see a few other commands. The touch command is used to create a timestamp. It modifies the timestamp of a file to the current timestamp, and if the file does not exist, then it creates an empty file. So, in our this module we will use touch command to create an empty file. As we do not know any editor, we will simply deal with some empty files. Few other commands are cp, that is copy a file. Cp takes two arguments. First argument will be the original file name and the second argument will be the file into which we want to copy. Similarly, mv command is to rename a file. It takes two arguments, original file name and the other file name that we want to rename that file. So, cp and mv command, they are generally, they take two arguments. ls command, as I said, it is to list the contents of a directory. It can list the files as well as directories. ls-a lists all files, which includes hidden files, and ls-l will provide long listing. It lists few other details like permissions, who is the creator, group of that person, size and so on. So, these are few basic commands that can be performed over files. cp and mv can also be performed over directories. More or less the arguments remain same. Let us see a video which deals with these commands. Let us see a video that deals with the file commands and few basic file operations. So, we are listing the present working directory. We are placed in demo, test dir and sub dir. By typing ls command, it does not show anything, means there are no files in sub dir. I am creating a file first.txt, I am creating another file second.txt. As I said, touch command can be used to create files, they are empty files. By issuing ls command, now you can see there are two files, first.txt, second.txt. By issuing lsl command, you can see long listing. These are the permissions, the owner of file, the group that he belongs to, its size is 0, because touch command creates a 0 sized file. Now, lsa command will show all files. As of now, there are no hidden files. We have not created any hidden files. So, there is no hidden file that is being shown over here. cp is used to copy. It takes two arguments, first and copied. So, there is a new file copied.txt. You can see this another file is created, which is a copy of first.txt file. mv command will rename this second.txt into some file moved.txt. By issuing ls command, you can see this moved.txt is created and second.txt. Now, this is renamed into moved.txt. So, for which we use mv command. We are creating one more file, touch to be deleted.txt. You can see another file is created, to be deleted. Now, we will try to delete this file. So, the command rm will help us to delete this file. After deleting, you can see this to be deleted is not listed. By typing the ls command, the to be deleted file is not present. So, it has been deleted. So, we have seen few file related commands, few directory related commands. Now, let us see few other commands, some basic commands that are used in Linux, although they are not related to file, but what we will do is we will try to redirect the output of these commands into files. So, let us quickly go through certain basic Linux commands. The first command is date command. As you can see on the screen, date command displays the date of current system. It takes lot of arguments. If you want to display date in various formats, it does provide various display formats. The arguments that go as options are listed in our reading note. You can go through those. Another command is cal command, which displays the calendar. We can display calendar of any year, any month. By default, it will display the calendar of current month. Uptime command will display since how long the system has been booted. It also displays the load average, that is how much load the system is taking. who command is very interesting. It will display the users who are online. So, if the system is a server, if it is a Linux server, there are 30-40 users who are working on the same server. Who command will list each and every user. Who command also takes certain arguments, but we will treat simple who command in this module. The uname command is another command which displays kernel information. As we have studied, Linux is made up of a kernel. If we want to know which kernel we are using, the version of kernel, whether it is 2.6, 3 or whatever, then the uname command with option -a will display all information about the kernel. And another interesting command is WC. WC is word count. It displays the number of lines within a file, number of words within a file and number of characters. WC command takes 3 arguments. It can take -l to display line, it can take W to display word, and the argument can be C to display the character count. So, these are few basic commands. Few other commands are man. Man is for manual. So, if you want to display the help of any command, we simply type man and the command name as an argument. Man will display help about help, or it will display the manual about manual. Information is another command that is similar to man. It displays information in some other format. Which command will display the actual path of the command. Say for instance, if I am trying the command who that we have discussed earlier, then the who command has some executable, and this executable path will be displayed by which command. Find command is used to find or locate files within the entire system or within a specific directory. It also takes lot of arguments. Varies command is also used to display the path of any command along with some package information, and cat command will display the content of any file. Cat command, when we give with a file, if the file contains some content, then it will be displayed. Otherwise, in the previous demonstration, whatever files we created, they were all 0 sized file. So, cat won't display any output for those files. For instance, if we say cat first.txt, the first.txt was created using touch command, and this cat won't display any output. So, let us see a video which uses such kind of file operations. We will see 2 different videos. We will see one video where we process files, we will see another video where we are using these commands, and we will see how the output is displayed on the screen. So, this is a video that takes file operations. Here you can see I am in the subdir subdirectory, and I am issuing ls command. So, when I say ls, it will list the files. There are 3 files in my directory. I am creating a file that starts with dot. Touch command will create an empty file. By typing ls, this file is not listed. Dot another .txt is not listed by ls command, but when I say ls -a, it lists this file. So, another .txt is a hidden file. So, as I said, to create hidden file, dot is prefixed with the file name. Now, I am removing a file move.txt. You can see this file has been deleted. ls-a will list all files, but it won't list the deleted one, move.txt. I am moving to the home directory. There is a command tree which lists all the directories and its subdirectories. The tree command, when issued with the directory name, so here I am specifying test directory. Now, I am specifying another command, that is tree command. Tree command, when specified with a directory name, it lists all the directories and its subdirectories and their contents. It gives a tree structure. So, you can see test dir is a directory. I am issuing tree command for this test dir. You can see there is a test dir which contains sub dir, that is subdirectory, within which there are two files, copied.txt and first.txt. So, these are the files within subdirectory, that is sub dir, and sub dir is a part of test dir. So, when we want to see the directory hierarchy, we can use the tree command. Now, let us see some basic Linux commands. In this demonstration, I will show certain commands and I will show how they can be used. The first command is date, it will display the current system date. Date command can take various arguments to display in various formats. The cal command cal will display the calendar of current month along with the date of current month. So, it displays the current date and month. Who command, as I said, displays the online users. Over here demo is the user who has logged in. Demo has logged in from several terminals, there are no other users who are online. Uptime command will display the time since system has booted. Apart from the time, it displays number of users. You can see since how long it is up, the number of users and what is the load average. Uname -a will display the kernel version. This is the kernel version 2.6.32. It also displays few other information like Linux, the type of system that it is supporting. Man uname will display the help of uname, that is the manual of uname command. You can see this is the manual. We can scroll down. Who is the author of the manual? If there are bugs, you can report those bugs. What are the copyrights? It is GNU GPL license version 3 and few other commands related to manual, they are also listed over here. For example, uname command is similar to arc command. These are the options of the commands. Now, we are out of the manual, we are back to the command prompt. When I type man command, it displays the manual of manual. So, the Linux manual contains 8 sections 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the different sections the manual contains. Each section has some significance, they are related to user command, system call, C functions and so on. The 8th section contains system administration tools and daemon. Which command will display the path of the command that we are specifying. So, which takes argument, the argument is command itself, and where the executable command lies is displayed as the path, it gives absolute path. Here you can see first is usr bin who, this is path of who command, the other is bin uname, this is the path of uname command. This is the information of who command. So, this is another way of displaying the help of any command. We have typed info and who and we got that output. So, we have seen certain commands, we have seen how we can deal with files, how we can deal with directories. We have also seen how we can type certain basic commands like date, calendar, that is cal command and so on. I have also shown you how to refer the manuals, that is using man command. Now, it is my request that you go through manual of different commands. Learning of manuals is a necessity for Linux users, it may be a system administrator or a programmer. The more conversion you will be with manual, it will be more easier for you. When we type man along with the command name, the manual will open for that command. You can browse through the manual using arrow keys or using certain keyboard keys, you can go through the manual. You can also search within manual, you can search for specific keywords within manual, and if you want to come out from the manual, you want to go back to command prompt, we type Q. Q of the keyboard will place you from manual to the command prompt. So, there are different ways to get help of any command. please explore manual in detail. It may take lot of time in learning all these commands along with the arguments, but the invested that you do in learning manuals will be of help in future. In my reading notes, I have given various ways of going through manual, few other commands are also given. You can explore manual in more detail using those commands. Now, coming to next section, as I said, the Linux system provides redirection, we call IO redirection. So, the output of one command can become input of another command. There are special operators like greater than sign, double greater than sign, and there is a pipe sign which can be used to redirect the output. So, there are three type of redirections that are possible. As you can see, there is a standard input stream, there is a standard output stream, and there is a standard error stream. So, the redirection can be done using standard input, output or error stream. Let us see examples. Over here, we are redirecting the input file to this command. So, users.txt is the input file, and this file, the content of the file is being redirected to wc command, and wc command will do some operation, that is word count over this file. Now, the other direction is like this, this redirection is done from some command to file name. It is a reverse of the previous one. So, here you can see who command will list the number of users who are online, and the list is being saved in a file users.txt. And similarly, there is error redirection. So, if there is some error, if the file does not exist or we do not have permission to read this file, then the error will be redirected into error.txt. The operator used is to and this greater than sign. So, this is how redirection can be done. Let us see how pipe works. Pipe are these kind of symbols. So, pipe are used to redirect the output of command 1 into as an input of command 2, and the output of command 2 as an input of command 3. For example, the output of who command will become input to wcl command. So, this is pipe which is used as redirection. The output of who command, it can be 3 lines, it becomes the input to wcl command, and the wcl command will display the output as 3. So, if there are 3 users online, the output will be displayed as 3, it will not display the detail of users. Who command displays all detail of users, but this piping will hide those details and it will display only the number of lines of the who command. So, let us see a demonstration for redirection operations. In this demonstration, first thing is we are listing the users. As I said, who command will list all online users. There are 3 terminals open. So, demo user has logged in from 3 terminals, you can see 3 lines. Now, what I will do? I will pipe the output of who command to wc. This is piping. wc command will display the number of lines, number of words and number of characters. If I give wc-l option, it will display the number of lines. So, the output of who command is being piped into wcl. Here, I am redirecting the output of who command to users.txt file. You can see cat command will display the content of file. So, it displays 3 lines, it is same whatever was the output of who command. So, now output of who became input to users.txt and it has been stored in the file. The number of lines of this file is 3. wc command can be also used like this, wc with some file name. Earlier we used with the command combination, now it is being used with the file name. Now, I will also redirect the output of date into users.txt file. I am using double greater than sign, means it is appending. Here you can see the who command, earlier it created 3 lines. These 3 lines, the first 3 lines are output of who command, which was stored in users.txt, and I am appending the date command into the file. So, now there are 4 lines. Apart from these 3 lines, there is a 4th line which contains date. If I have used, instead of double greater than sign, if I would have used a single greater than sign, the earlier content would have been overwritten. So, we may lose these 3 lines if I use single greater than sign rather than double greater than. You can see the last line of the date command, it is appended to users.txt file. So, apart from these commands, ls command also supports wildcard characters. If we want to list files like C programs, then the command will be ls star.c. If I want to list all files that begin with some username, say demo something dot files, then I will list the files like ls demo star. So, there are wildcard characters that can support listing of files, and it can be used with different combinations. The screen shows some wildcard characters. We may go through those characters. So, a question mark represents single character, it will match to a single character. Asterisk will match to multiple characters, it may match to a string of characters. If we want a match of a set of characters, for instance, here I am matching with ADF, then I can use square brackets as the set. So, if I am looking for files that contain ADF, I can use square brackets, and the reverse, if I do not want files that contain ADF, then I will use not sign along with the square brackets. So, in my reading notes, I have given few examples that use all these characters along with the ls command. Now, let us see how we find files. Searching for file or locating a file will require find command. We can find for a file by specifying name of that file, by specifying the directory, by specifying the type of file, whether it is a regular file or block specific. So, in the first example, I am looking for a file GCC, by name it is GCC within the /usr directory. In the second command, I am looking only for directory D. So, I am looking for GCC directory within the USR directory. And in the third example, I am looking for file name with test1, the test1 must be regular file. So, F is specified, I am looking for this file in the /usr directory. So, this is how find command can be used. There are several other options that can be used along with find command to locate specific directories or specific files. So, with this we come to end of the module. To summarize what we have studied, we started our discussion with file system, type of files, what is a file, how to deal with files, how to deal with directories, how to create directory, how to navigate subdirectories, how to create or remove file, how to copy or rename a file. So, we have seen certain basic commands. We have also seen certain basic commands related to Linux, and then we tried combination of storing the output of a command into file, that was through redirection operators. So, we call IO redirection. We tried to redirect the output of command into file. We also did reverse, that is the file was becoming input to a command, and we also used pipe symbol, where the output of one command can become input to another command. So, this is the basic of file operations, some basic commands. In the future modules, we will see these commands in more detail. We will also explore some other commands. So, I hope you enjoyed this session. Please try out all these commands and have fun. Thank you.